God bless America. Hello, everybody. I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you're all having a fantastic week so far. We're almost to the weekend. Hang in there. You can make it. 2 more videos, and then you'll be done. So the story that I have for you today comes from Tuesday. I've been sitting on it for a couple of days, doing some other things, and I almost did it yesterday, and I'm glad that I sat on it today because I ended up not having nearly as much time to research as I normally do. So we've got this for you from the Gateway Pundit. Headline: Racist South African political leader Julius Malema, go after the white man. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Now this leader was arrested back in 2011. Part of what he was doing was telling his supporters that the white farmers' land must be shared by all black Africans. He was arrested for playing a song that says "Kill the White Man" at his rallies. Now, I'm sure back in 2011 that if you had had people saying social justice is going to lead to black people demanding the confiscation of property from white people for redistribution among blacks, that the left would have said, you're arguing a slippery slope. You're being silly. There's no evidence that points to this being the path of social justice. And yet, in the current year, in fact, last week, the South African Parliament voted to confiscate land from white farmers without payment. And I was wondering, are we looking at a vision of the end state of social justice in the United States of America? Black leaders, or I guess I should say leaders of specific black communities, have been calling for reparations for slavery in recent years. In other words, the black generations of the past were oppressed, therefore white generations of the future must be oppressed in kind, and their goods should be redistributed to blacks of the current generation. And I was wondering, for any of you debate geniuses out there, is it a slippery slope fallacy if you can demonstrate that the slippery slope is the path down which the events are going to proceed? And this is the place where I got the idea from, but I think it also applies to issues like the gun control debate. I think it specifically applies in the case of the Parkland shooting. The kids that have been getting a lot of airtime in the wake of the Parkland shooting have been calling for a ban on specifically the AR-15 rifle, and not a whole lot else. Just really trying to drive home a ban on the AR-15. And I was wondering, think about the way it would be responded to if you said, it's a slippery slope to ban the weapon that was used in a school shooting. If we ban an AR-15 today, tomorrow we'll be banning handguns, and the next day hunting rifles. I don't think it would be unreasonable to imagine that the left would say, well, that's a slippery slope fallacy. You can't prove that this is the path down which gun control is going to go if we ban the dangerous weapons. We don't want to get to that point. We just want to ban the guns that are killing all the people. Okay, fine. So we ban the AR-15 in the wake of the Parkland shooting. Let's say tomorrow someone comes in with, and we'll call it something sinister. Let's call it an assault handgun. Assault handguns have trigger safeties, and they don't have action safeties. For you people that have never touched a gun before, an action is the thing that slides back and forth. It's the slidey bit on the top of the gun. And the trigger, of course, is the thing that people press and then innocent people die. A trigger safety, especially this is very prominent on the Glock. I think it's the Glock 19, the firearm that police officers carry a lot. There is no action safety, just a trigger safety. So all that has to be done to fire the gun is to draw it and pull the trigger. You don't have to draw it, work the action safety, and then start shooting. That's a very dangerous pistol. It can be used very quickly and very deadlily, with much more speed and accuracy and precision and depth and etc. So we need to ban the assault handgun. It's a very dangerous weapon. It's being used by mass shooters all over the place. Okay, so we ban the assault handgun. Well, the next school shooter brings in a handgun with an action safety. There's no trigger safety, and they kill a whole bunch of people with just regular handguns. All right, we need to ban semi-automatic handguns. You can't own semi-automatic handguns; they're too dangerous or too deadly. All right, the next shooter, he brings in a rifle with a dropout clip in it, maybe a hunting rifle or maybe a semi-automatic shotgun with a clip. All right, we have to ban all weapons that use clips and are semi-automatic. They're just too dangerous. They're too deadly. So the next guy brings in a revolver with a speed loader, and he kills a bunch of people in a school shooting. All right, we need to ban the revolver with a speed loader. What I'm trying to get at here is that if the reaction to a school shooting is ban the weapon that was used in the school shooting, that's the definition of a slippery slope. The next school shooting is going to happen with a gun that's not the weapon that you just banned, so now we need to ban a new weapon. And then the next school shooting is going to happen with a new gun that's not the first or the second gun that we've banned, so now we need to ban a third gun. And we just keep going and keep going and keep going until we've banned all of the guns. Because you can't stop a school shooting by banning guns. That's what a gun-free zone does. Guns are banned in gun-free zones, and yet school shootings are still happening. You can't stop a school shooting with a gun ban. Now, I did all of that talking to talk about the slippery slope fallacy and to ask the question, is it a fallacy if I can demonstrate that the path you want to go down is a slippery slope? And I think that I've done that here with the firearms. And I want to ask the question, is the path of social justice a slippery slope? Are we headed to a point where it's realized that the injustice between the oppressed and the oppressors is so great that we must confiscate property so that the oppressed can become equal to the oppressors? Is that the road that we're heading down? Because it's the road that South Africa is heading down. And it's the road that many leaders in various black communities want us to go down. Am I still on the slippery slope fallacy, or is it a legitimate slippery slope? The other thing that I wanted to talk about in regard to this issue is why the United States of America is a republic. Now, republics move markedly slower than democracies, especially considering that elections don't happen every single year. One of the reasons why some of the things that people have gotten whipped into frenzies about in recent years haven't been implemented is because we are a republic. Because the representative republic allows sometimes for cooler heads to prevail. Many people are easily fired up, but few people that are detached from some of these instances can have a cooler head. Now, it's important that a representative not be so fully detached from the issues and the people he's supposed to represent so that he cannot realize what they want, but it is important that we have lawmakers in place that are detached from some of these instances so that we can have people that will objectively analyze the situation and say, no, your impassioned response to this issue is not actually going to solve the problem. If banning the tools of death were the solution to stopping death, then we would need to start with vehicles. Far more people die in vehicle accidents than die to gun violence. I mean, you're driving an aluminum can 80 miles an hour down a highway. That is an extremely dangerous scenario to be in. Now, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on these issues. Let me know in the comments what you think about these things. We've talked about the slippery slope. We've talked about We've talked about being a republic. We've talked about, is South Africa a possible end state of social justice in America? Let me know what you're thinking about this. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Come back tomorrow. We'll do our daily report right before the weekend, and we'll get you on the way, get you an opportunity to unplug and relax, kick back and forget about the news events of the day. I hope that you guys will come back and join me. Until then, good night, and God bless.